name's Matt. Today I'd like, hello, the birds are chirping. Today I'd like to offer you a practice to help with anxiety, of all things. I don't profess to be an expert in anxiety, other than there's a lot of days where I wake up and have pretty strong, profound anxiety as a result of some damage to my nervous system. So I found that yoga helps me a lot, but on the days that are really bad, like today, when I woke up feeling pretty rocked with adrenaline, I found that one thing that helps me, honestly, is to just sort of exhaust myself physically. So I took a long walk with the dog, and now I'm going to try to do a yoga practice that wears me out, so hopefully you'll follow along. Anyway, come to the top of your mat in mountain pose. So you want your feet hip width apart, grounding down through the floor, through all four corners of your feet. Bring your arms down by your sides. Be active through your arms, active through your legs. Drive into the floor, activate the muscles of the quads, activate your arms, don't be lazy, don't hunch, don't slouch, stand tall and erect and just breathe. We'll take about 10 breaths here, just grounding and centering. Through the nose and out through the nose. I know I'm breathing out through the mouth because I have to talk, but you don't, so breathe out through your nose. To wake up our arms, sides, lats, and shoulders a little bit, let's stretch the arms overhead. Reach tall to the sky, keep the shoulders down the back, reach and breathe. Take your palms, interlink your fingers together, turn your palms inside out, point those towards the ceiling. Again, keeping the shoulders strong and down the back. Push with those outstretched arms and feel the length building through your torso, through your sides, through your arms. Keep driving down through your feet and be active through the legs. Arms to the ceiling, you can release the clasp of your hands. Grab your left wrist with your right arm, and then just pull yourself over to the right. Keep grounding down through your feet. Keep your hips aligned forward. Find length in that left side body. Pull or lean over to the right and breathe. Let's take a few breaths here. Return to center. We'll take that on the other side. Pull the right wrist with the left hand. Lean over and find a lot of length, as much as you can, through that right side body. One way to help cue that and remember that is to really drive down through that right foot. Find as much length as you can between the right heel and the fingers of the right hand. Reach for the sky, bring your hands down by your sides. Step your feet back, plant your hands on the mat. I have one block here today, we may or may not need it. But we're going to come to downward dog and just warm up by walking our dog. So grounding down through the hands and through this inner triangle. Thumbs pressing towards each other 45 degrees. Index fingers on the ground, palms flat. Rotate the eyes and the elbows forward. And then push back into your heels, lift your hips and butt towards the sky. Release your head, breathe. If you want to walk your dog, you can alternate between one heel to the floor and the other. If you want to take some wiggles with your hips, go ahead. I'm sort of seesawing back and forth. Come onto the tips of your toes, like a ballet.
ballerina. Lift yourself off the ground, be active through the calves, arms are still rotating forward. Then push your hips as high as you can to the sky, and you should feel a lot of activation through the backs of your legs. Then breathe. Couple more breaths here. Drop your heels to the floor. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Back is parallel with the ground. Shoulders are down the back, pressing off your shins. Breathe. Release into a forward fold. You can use your hands on the backs of your calves to gently coax yourself forward. Stand tall, upward salute, driving down through the feet. Reach your hands skyward, breathe. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, plant your hands. Step back to plank pose. Here, you don't want to be lazy, you don't want to be sloppy. So this is how my kids do plank. They're like, do I got this, do I got this? All the time they're dropping their butt and hips towards the floor. You're getting a sway in your back that actually can be kind of potentially injurious. So you want to be active through your core, driving back through your heels. Find a long line of energy from your forehead all the way through the backs of your legs, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Obviously, I can't see myself. I may not have perfect form right now, but I'm doing the best that I can. Just think of yourself forming one long line of energy. We'll hold this for a few breaths. All right, lower halfway. Keep your elbows in by your sides. Flip over the tops of your toes, upward facing dog. Press back, downward facing dog. Okay, so that's Sun A. We're going to do each of those poses, holding them for 5 breaths, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. So follow along with me. So push back into downward dog. We'll take 5 breaths here. Driving your heels into the floor. That's 5 breaths for me. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift for 5 breaths. Push off those shins, drive your feet down. Find length through the back of the spine, through the back of the neck, and the shoulders down the back. And forward fold for 5 breaths, opening the hamstrings. You can use your hands to coax yourself forward, over your thighs, over your knees, over your shins. Alright, stand tall, upward facing salute, drive down through the feet, arms reaching skyward, breathe. Stretch long through the fingers, stretch down through the feet. Forward fold. That's 5 breaths there. Halfway lift, another 5 breaths. Hopefully your breath is getting slower and longer too. Hopefully you're relaxing. I know I am a little bit. Finding length. Okay, step back, hold plank for 5 breaths. Active through the legs, active through the core, pushing off the floor. Shoulders down the back. Don't be lazy, keep all your muscles firing. Lower halfway for 5 breaths. Flip over the tops of your feet. Upward facing dog for 5 breaths. I'm going to adjust myself a little bit. Pushing off the floor, elbows are rotated forward, pushing off the tops of your feet, active through the thighs, don't just sag. Really stay active through the fronts of your legs. Push back, downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Alright, actually I lied. We're not going to do 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do 3 and then 1. So step or hop to the top of your mat. Upward salute, this time for 3 breaths. Forward fold for 3 breaths. Use your hands to traction yourself over the fronts of your legs. Keep the knees straight, legs active. Halfway lift. Stand tall, hands to the ceiling, 3 breaths. Forward fold, 3 breaths here. Your hamstrings should be waking up. You should be finding a little more length now. Halfway lift. Push off those shins. Flat back. Keep grounding down through the feet. Step or hop, back to plank. I'm going to step because I'm old and I move slowly. I'm going to hold plank here for 3 breaths. Lower halfway, chaturanga dandasana, 3 breaths here. Elbows in by the sides, core's tight. Flip over the feet, upward facing dog, 3 breaths. Legs are active, thighs are parallel to each other. Finding length through the front of your body, should be stretching out your abs. Push back, downward facing dog. We'll hold this for 3 breaths. Step or hop, top of your mat, halfway lift. 1 breath. Forward fold. Hands to the sky, upward salute. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back plank. Lower, chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, up dog. Push back, downward facing dog. Hold this for a few breaths. Alright, lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. So you're taking your left leg to the center of the mat, strong through that left foot, grounding through the floor, lifting that right leg behind you, keeping the leg nice and long and straight. Step it forward, right between your hands, hips are facing forward. Lift your hands to the sky, high crescent. We're going to hold this for 10 breaths. Stay active through that back leg. One way to think about it is to really push off that toe. Make sure that your right knee is over your right ankle. Facing forward, hips are facing forward. Arms are reaching through the sky, shoulders off the back. Breathe. I can feel my shoulders, they keep wanting to creep up. There needs to be someone there to remind me. Alright, bring your arms out to this cactus position. As you do so, drop your back leg or do this 10 times. 1, hands up, cactus the arms and dip. 2, 3, 4, 5, you're bringing that knee just above the floor to hover. 6, about an inch or 2. 7, 8, 9, your back thigh should be burning. 10, return to high crescent. Exhale your hands to heart center. Stay active through that back leg. Bring your left arm outside your right knee and twist. If you want, the left hand can come into a fist. Press your right palm flat against it. You'll get a little more activation this way. 10 breaths here. Stay active through the legs. Okay, return to high crescent. Hands to the mat. Step back plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Just take a couple breaths here to rest and restore. Alright, bring your right foot to the center of the mat. Three-legged dog on the left side. Left leg's up behind you. Straight as can be. I know mine probably doesn't look super straight. I'm kind of bow-legged. What can I do? That's how the good Lord made me. Step forward with that left foot. You want your feet, you don't want them too close together. You don't want to feel like you're walking on a tightrope and wobbling. You want that right foot out to the side a little bit so you have some lateral stability. Ground down through that left foot. Root to rise. Hands up, high crescent. We're going to take 10 breaths here. Really staying active through that back leg, pushing off the ball of the foot, grounding down through that front left foot. 90-degree angle. You want that left knee right over the left ankle, more or less. Shoulders down the back.
Reaching those hands skyward, stay active through the hands. Okay, we're going to do dips. So as you cactus the arms, dip that back right leg, bringing the right knee just off the floor. We'll do 10 of these. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Return to high crescent. Reach for the ceiling. Bring your hands to heart center. Exhale your right leg to the outside, your right leg. I don't know how you could exhale your right leg to the outside of your left leg. Let me know if you figure that out. Right elbow to the outside of your left leg. Take that right arm, ball it into a fist. Take this left arm, left hand, flatten the palm. Push down into that right fist. Twist and breathe. Stay active through that back leg. 10 breaths here. Going deeper into the pose with each exhale. Keep the face as placid as you can. I know mine probably isn't. Doing my best. Arms overhead, high crescent. Hands to the mat. Step back, plank, chaturanga. Up dog. Push back, downward facing dog. Okay, step or hop to the top of the mat, hands right between the feet. Bring your big toes to touch. You want your heels slightly apart, an inch or 2. Again, mine naturally kind of go that way. As you can see, I'm pretty bow-legged. We're going to crouch down into chair pose. Bring your arms to the sky. You want your thighs to be as parallel as possible to the ground. You don't want your knees to drift over your big toes. So sit down into it as if you're sitting down in a chair that someone had offered you, but all the activation should be through your quads and buttocks. Arms skyward, looking forward. We're going to take 20 breaths here. And 7 breaths for me. Breathe into the pain. Let your breath guide you into the pose. I know your quads are burning, mine are too. Resist the urge to come out of the pose. A few more breaths here. Forward fold. Plant your hands on the mat. We're going to move into crow pose right away while we're still fatigued. Bring your knees up on the backs of your triceps. Hands grounded down, downward dog hands, inner triad pressing to the floor.
tilt forward, straighten the arms, bring the feet up to touch behind you, puff up your back. Kind of like the birds behind me, puffing themselves up with their feathers to stay warm. Breathe. Step or hop back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. That was intense. I'm actually wondering why I signed us up for 20 breaths in chair, but in the end, I know I'm going to feel less anxious. I hope you do too. Let's do one sun salutation. Step or hop, top of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Arms to the sky. Hands down by your sides. Back to the sky. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Step or jump back. Plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. I'm going to readjust my mat, got a little crooked. Alright, step or hop, top of your mat. Setting up for chair again. We've been here before. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Drop the hips, drop the butt, hands to the sky. 10 breaths here. Rotate the pelvis forward so you don't get an arch in your back, just to protect your lower back. Activate the core to protect your back as well. Breathe. Thighs as parallel to the floor as you can get them. Sit deeper. Breathe. Feel the burn. One more breath here. Bring your hands to heart center and then twist your left elbow against your right knee. Make sure that your knees stay parallel with each other, nice and snug. Don't let the left knee drift forward. And then push off your palms and twist. 5 breaths here. Turn to chair. Hands to heart center. We're going to take that twist on the other side. Right arm outside the left knee. Breathe. I'm starting to think this was a terrible idea. Hands up, chair. Breathe, forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands on the mat, crow. 10 breaths in crow. Headstands in your practice, you could also play with dropping to the floor doing it. I'm not very good at it. I fell out once and twisted my neck weird. I don't love it. I'm not going to do it. Step or jump back to chaturanga. Uno up dog. Press back, downward facing dog. Step or hop, top of your mat. I'm going to walk. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back, plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Okay. Now we're going to take some poses from the Warrior 2 suite of poses. Right leg lift to the sky, three-legged dog. Step the right foot forward. Take that back foot, turn it about to 90 degrees. You can angle it in slightly. You want your front heel to intersect with the back arch. From that position of stability, that front foot, come up. Warrior 2, we're going to hold it. 10 breaths. Find length through your outstretched arms, active through the legs. You're looking for opening between this front thigh and this back thigh. So feel the tension between them, almost like you're sort of pulling them apart, using the sticky mat in your feet to find that activation. Sink down into the pose, stay active through the legs. Arms outstretched. Alright, side angle pose. Legs in the same position. Bring that right elbow to the inside of the right thigh. Left arm overhead, reaching for the front of the room. Right arm, you can ball up into fist if you want, just to help you remind to drive into that arm into that leg, and be active. Reach, breathe. Shoulders out of your ears. I was not doing a good job of that. Your front thigh should be on fire. Mine is. All right, come up. Warrior 2. Now reverse your warrior. Right arm to the sky and back. Keep that right arm straight. Don't let the arm pull you out of the pose. Keep that right leg bent and breathe. 10 breaths. Left hand's down the back of the left leg. Alright, from here, spring forward onto that front foot, bring your left leg in so it's about 3 feet from your right foot. Lean into that right foot, lift the left leg, right hand to the floor, block. I'm going to use a block today, I'm a little tired. Pushing off that block, rotate your left arm to the sky, bring that left leg up, half moon. Active through that front foot, driving down into the floor, and really active through that back leg, keeping it long, keeping it straight, finding a 90-degree bend between your two legs. It'll be 10 breaths here. Step back into your warrior 2. From here, straighten that front leg. You can walk your back leg in a little bit. You want about 3 or 3.5 feet between your 2 feet. Feet are more or less in the same position that they were in for warrior 2. You might want to bring that left leg more to a 45-degree angle. We're moving into triangle pose, so inhale, arms long, and then lean forward out over that right front hip. Grabbing your right front thigh. If you want, you can also grab a block. And then rotate yourself to the left so that you're facing the left side of your mat. Staying long and staying active through your limbs. Triangle, it's like reverse warrior, but it's triangle. Hands to the mat, vinyasa. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. We'll stay here for a few breaths, just to get our breath back. Side. There'll be 10 breaths per pose. You should know the cues by now. We'll walk you through it a little bit. Right leg to the center of the mat. Left leg up, three-legged dog. Step through. Warrior 2 on the left side. Open up to the right side of your mat. Settle down into that front left hip. Straighten that back right leg. You want heel to arch alignment. Right foot angled slightly forward. Breathe. Reaching out through the fingertips, length between that front hand and that back hand, length between your front toes and your back toes, really opening your hips and pelvis through the center of your body. The inside of the left knee. Reach the right arm overhead, keep your shoulders out of your ears, keep that right arm as straight as possible. Anchor down through the blade of your right foot. Breathe. Warrior, 10 breaths here. Left arm overhead, right arm down the back thigh. Finding length through that left front torso. Rotate it to the right side of your mat. Breathe. Front left foot, keep it at a 90-degree angle. Turn to warrior 2. Step forward onto that front left foot, pushing off the back foot. Left hand comes down in front of you. We're setting up for half moon on the left side. I'm going to use my block today. Left hand is about a foot in front of and slightly to the left of your left foot. Rotate yourself open to the right, right arm to the sky, shoulders down the back, extension through that right leg, kind of a karate kick. Breathe. passing through here. All right, straighten that front leg. Bring your right foot in just a little bit, a couple few inches. Push your hips back. Reach your left arm forward. Reach for your left shin with your left hand. Right arm to the sky. Triangle pose left side. Breathe. Warrior two. Just passing through, hands to the floor, vinyasa. Step back plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Sequence a couple more times on each side, but a lot fewer breaths. Right leg to the sky, three-legged dog, step through. Warrior two, I'll just do 2 breaths here. Two breaths. Reverse your warrior, 2 breaths. And a half moon, couple breaths. I forgot my block this time. Your left foot up a little bit, triangle pose, couple breaths. Side, I forgot about that on the other side. Plant your hands, vinyasa. Step it through, warrior two, left side, couple breaths. Or fall. Straighten the front leg. Triangle pose on the left side, couple breaths. Reverse your triangle. Vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Step forward, warrior two. Come up just for a breath. Side angle. Half moon. Straighten the front leg, triangle on the right. Breathe. Come up, reverse triangle. Hands to the mat. Vinyasa. gonna have to readjust my mat. Pardon the interruption. Okay, downward facing dog. Right foot, center of the mat, left leg up, three-legged dog. Step it through. Warrior two on the left side, one breath. Step up into half moon. Just for a moment, straighten that left front leg. Step the right foot in. Triangle pose on the left side. Right hand to the sky. Breathe. Hands to the mat. Vinyasa. Back to your feet, so you're standing at the back of your mat. We're just going to slow things down a little bit as we kind of wind down. I don't think I have much left in me. Hopefully you don't either. I know that I feel a lot less anxious now. I think I've burned some of that unholy fire away. Anyway, standing in mountain pose, Tadasana at the back of your mat, active through the legs, active through the arms, shoulders out of your ears. Anchor down into your left foot, bring it to the center of your mat, and then bring your right foot up, either below the knee on the calf or above the knee on the thigh. I'm going to use my hands to pull up because it's hard for me to get it up there. You just don't want it pressing against your kneecap because that could potentially injure you. Resist the flat of your foot against the thigh, resist the thigh against the foot. Bring your hands overhead. Find a point in the distance to focus on. Your gaze, your drishti. This will help you balance, and then just breathe. Keep that resistance. Stay active through the foot, active through the leg. Good dinner time. Release the right leg to the mat, bring the right foot to center. We'll take tree on the other side. So, left foot against that left thigh, arms overhead, resisting the thigh against the foot against the thigh. Stretch for the sky with your hands. Shoulders down the back. Stay active through your core so that you form one long line down through your rooted foot. We'll take one more static pose. We'll take dancer pose. Sorry, I had a burp on the right side. So, bring your left foot to the center of the mat, same as before. Right arm out, like you're carrying a tray or a platter. You're going to grab the inside of the right foot. Bring your knees to touch. Left arm to the sky. Then slowly tip forward. Reaching that left arm forward, reaching that right leg back. Resist the right foot against the right hand. Pull it skyward. Try to find a little bit of a back bend. Look at the floor. Find a point to look at to fix your gaze on to help you balance. Out of that pose. I always get a little bit of a head rush when I do it, not sure why. Momentary pause and let the blood come back to my head. Okay. Right foot center of the mat, left arm out, carrying a tray. Reach for the inside of your left foot. Bring the knees together, right arm to the sky, tip forward. foot into the hand, you should feel a lot of good shoulder opening too through that left shoulder. Should feel nice. Release that left foot. We'll take one more vinyasa. Hands to the sky. I'm sorry, one more sun salutation. Hands by your sides. Hands up. Forward fold. And actually walk yourself back out to the top of your mat. Plank pose. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. We're going to push back into child pose. Really slow things down. Bring your big toes to touch. Knees are out at the edge of your mat. Push back into your hips. Reach your arms forward. And then just push and stretch. Drop your forehead to the mat and breathe. Another thing you can do that's kind of fun, if you have a block like I do, is you can rest your head on the block. This helps me often find length through my upper back. I'll get you some food. Finish, thread the needle, bring that right arm to the sky, thread it under your left armpit, lean your right cheek against the mat, push against the right hand, against the back of the right arm, twist and just let everything go. I was getting a little lazy, keep it out extended in front of you. Find that kind of cross pressure between the two arms. That right arm to the sky, bring it back to the mat. Thread the needle on the other side, left arm to the sky, thread it through. Underneath the right armpit, left cheek to the mat, right arm forward, twist. Swing your legs forward and then just let everything go in Shavasana. So slowly lower yourself to the mat. All your limbs are extended. Let your head be the last thing that comes down. Close your eyes. Let everything go. Or 10 minutes. I need to go feed the cat. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for joining this practice. Namaste.